How many hours have you put into preparing for JAMB? Weeks, months, days? Yet, every single year, thousands of jambites, smart, hardworking candidates, walk into that exam hall and come out feeling devastated. Not because they didn't read, not because they weren't intelligent, but because they made mistakes. Avoidable mistakes, mistakes nobody warned them about. I know because I was one of them. In this video, I am going to show you 10 mistakes that jambites make which eventually mar their JAMB score, and exactly how to avoid every single one. Stay to the end because mistake number 5 is the one that shocked most people. When I sat for my first JAMB, I thought I was ready. I did all the work, read all the textbook, attended every lessons, but then when the result came out, it was crushed and I felt so devastated. Not because I was lazy, but because I was preparing the wrong way. And I made almost all the mistakes I am going to share with you in this video. The experience changed how I studied. I went back, sat down, made the proper strategy, and eventually sat for my second UTME and came out with a 320. So everything I'm going to be sharing with you today comes out from personal experience and from watching many other candidates go through the same pain. We don't need to repeat our mistakes. Let's get into it. Mistake number 1. Reading without past questions. This is the most common mistakes I have seen, and it makes complete sense why most candidates make that particular mistake. You read your physics textbook from chapter 1 to the end, you cover every chemistry topic and you feel prepared. But JAMB doesn't just test knowledge, it tests how well you understand the way JAMB sets questions. JAMB has pattern. Questions they repeat year after year. The question style they love, and the best way to crack all this is through past questions. When I started practicing past questions, my score improved because I read hard enough, but because I was smart about it. Now that you have limited time, use 60% of your time in solving past questions. Know the reason why a particular answer is correct, and also know the reason why you failed a particular question. The second mistake most jambites make is not to use syllables. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You read a particular topic for your JAMB examination, but when you got into the hall, you discovered you never saw that particular questions in your JAMB examination. That is what happens when you study without JAMB syllables. JAMB publishes a specific official syllabus for every subject. Every question from the exam is drawn from that syllabus, nothing outside it. Yet, most candidates don't know that the syllabus exists, or they know and ignore it. Stop wasting your study time on topics you know JAMB will never test you on. Download the official JAMB syllabus and start using them as your guide. Now that you have limited time, try to work more on IRV topics. Mistake number 3. Poor time management during the exam. You have 180 questions to answer under 2 hours. Roughly you have like half a minute for each question. Now imagine spending 2 to 3 minutes stuck in one particular difficult questions when you have other questions to answer that may seem very easy for you to click just in a second. I have watched brilliant students fail UTME not because they didn't know, but because they ran out of time during the exam. Now how to fix this? Practice time mock at home before your examination. Spend at least 60 seconds per question. If you notice any question is difficult for you, flag it up and move to the next one. By doing so, you get acquainted with the system and how JAMB CBT works in general. Mistake number 4. Never practicing on the JAMB CBT interface. JAMB is a computer-based test. You are not writing on a paper, you are clicking on a screen. Many students walk into the exam hall and spend the first 10 minutes trying to navigate the platform. 10 minutes gone before a single question is answered. Imagine that. The CBT system has a countdown timer, navigation button, a review panel, and a navigating system. If you've never used it before, exam day is not the time to learn. Download the JAMB CBT practice app and use it every single week. Get so familiar with it that during the exam, your mental energy is directed towards solving the questions and not figuring out how to use the software. Understanding the use of English. Remember I said mistake number 5 is really going to be shocking. This is it. Use of English is usually compulsory for all JAMB candidates irrespective of your course. And the use of English carries 60 questions, the highest of every subject on your exam. Most candidates spend 80% of their time concentrating on their subject choices and almost nothing to do with the use of English. Don't let the use of English be your blind spot. Use of English could be the difference between 280 and 310 in UTME. How to fix this? Dedicate your time every single day trying to work on your use of English, and at least read comprehension and answer questions on those comprehension to get yourself familiar and acquainted with those questions. Mistake number 6, not being consistent with your studies. Really want to come out excellently in your UTME in this limited time you have. What you need to do right now is to stay consistent every single day. Even if you don't want to get it done, get up and try to do something. 2 hours a single day counts. Mistake number 7, random questions without strategy. Every MCQ exam has one truth. Sometimes you eventually don't know the answer. That is okay. What is not okay is random panic guessing. Here's a technique that most jambites don't know: the elimination method. Even if you don't know the correct answer, definitely you know that 2 options out of options are wrong. You do elimination method, take out those 2 and try to use your knowledge to figure out the answer. Strategic guess is a calculated decision, while a random guess is just panic. Practice elimination method using your past questions. Look for obviously wrong options and eliminate them. Never leave a question unanswered. An educated guess is better than making it blank. Mistake number 8, no structure study routine. I read whenever I feel like. Can you imagine? If you really want to come out excellently in your UTME, you need to have a proper structured study routine. That particular statement, I read whenever I feel like, has ended a lot of UTME dreams more than any difficult question. It builds memory through repetition and not marathon. Study on a schedule, learning becomes a habit. Fix this. For the remaining 3 days you have to the exam, draft out a particular timetable for yourself and stick to that timetable as you approach your JAMB examination. Don't miss a single day. Number 9, exam day chaos and panic. Think about this. It's exam day, you woke up very late, looking for your sleep and not even knowing the exact venue for your examination. You get that flustered, out pounding, and you sit down and it goes completely blank. Anxiety is real, but most of it comes from poor preparation before the day of the exam and not the exam itself. Mind you, your UTME performance is largely decided a night before. How to fix this? A day before your exam, ensure you know your venue and all your sleep are in the right position. If possible, keep all your clothes well and wake up early. Eat a proper meal. Sleep by 10 p.m. a night before the exam. Ensure you have quality sleep in order to avoid burnout. So arrive at the exam venue very early. Mistake number 10, relying on only one particular textbook and not using the JAMB recommended textbook. You pick your favorite textbook, maybe the one your teacher recommended for you, and you read it cover to cover without using the JAMB recommended textbook. And also try to compare other textbooks, because no particular textbook covers JAMB topic perfectly. Topics are barely mentioned in one particular textbook but brilliantly explained in another textbook. Forget, JAMB pulls questions from multiple sources. Your preparation should also be the same. Use at least 2 recommended JAMB textbooks while trying to prepare for your UTME. That you have limited time, you don't need to complete that particular textbook. Use your syllabus to map out the high-view topics and focus more on those topics. Avoid these 10 mistakes and you put yourself miles ahead of the average jambite. See you in my next video. Bye.